Life is a beautiful thing. We can choose to be lazy, but these people in this video took lazy to a whole nother level. Check this out. Starting off with the guy who took his couch and turned it into a viewing experience with his phone. Have you ever wanted to have like a nice way to watch your phone screen without having to hold it? Well, this kid took a table and put it on his couch. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. And honestly, it's a great freaking idea. I approve of this laziness, but this is just the beginning. Because if you think this is lazy, check this out. This is the lazy lawnmower, but it's also genius. This person attached a string to a lawnmower and to a pole in the middle of where they want the grass to be cut. And as the lawnmower goes around the circle, that's right, the string gets shorter and shorter, them not having to do any work because the lawnmower just goes on its own. It's lazy, but it's genius. Just like this. This is a lazy bird. That's right, a lazy bird. You must be thinking, Garrett, what does a lazy bird look like? This is what a lazy bird looks like. It's literally a bird riding another bird to get where he needs to go. Now, it's either he's lazy or he has broken wings. I'm assuming he's just lazy. Speaking of lazy, imagine having a job that you are the security guard and all you do on said job is sleep because you have put a picture up of a security guard with a shotgun. What? That is the ultimate lazy. Not only is it lazy to the extreme, but it's so lazy that they actually made the actual cutout board, like the background, look real. If you guys look closely, this security guard actually matches up perfectly what's in the background. So on the top left corner of the cutout, you can see the sign, you can see the door frame, and then you can even see like the beef jerky store, whatever, like those little pamphlets. All that is on that background. So it matches it perfectly. So it looks real when you're looking at it. But in reality, the security guard's just sleeping. The dude's just tired. He's old and tired. And let me tell you, this guy ain't stopping nobody doing crime. Let's be real here. Speaking of stopping somebody, ain't nobody gonna stop this girl from taking the lazy way out when doing her nails. As you guys can see, she only did the first 2 nails on her foot. She didn't do the pinky. She didn't do any of the other nails because the shoe she wears doesn't show those. That is extra lazy. And honestly, hey, more power to you. You're smart. It's practical, it works, but let me tell you, if you have to take off your shoes for any reason, it's gonna get real awkward. Speaking of awkward, imagine buying a chair for your computer desk and not setting it up. Instead, using the box that the chair came in as your seat to do your homework. That is, come on, bro. You got the chair right there, just set it up. It's that easy. You just open the box, take the chair out, put it on the stand, and boom, you're done, you're good to go. It really is that as easy as 1, 2, 3. Speaking of easy as 1, 2, 3, everybody has a birthday every single year. You may not celebrate every year because nobody likes getting old, but as you guys can see, this is the most lazy birthday cake you will ever find on the internet. They didn't even make the cake. They just slapped the candle on it and said, we're done. That makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. But hey, on the bright side, beggars can't be choosers. If this is what someone gets you as a gift, you gotta say thank you because they went out of their way to do this, even though it's pretty lazy. It's also really funny. Speaking of lazy, this is the ultimate laziness for a holiday. This is someone's Christmas tree. Not only is this not a Christmas tree, it's literally just an air freshener. Imagine coming home down from Christmas, excited to check the presents under the tree, and this is what you see. Honestly, I'd be equally as happy because there's presents there. And maybe the family couldn't afford a tree, and this is the best they could do. Regardless, your family probably still loves you and is an amazing gift because they even got you gifts for Christmas. It's lazy and cheap, but also cost effective because let's be real, Christmas trees are the biggest waste of money every single year that people spend. And I guarantee you a lot more people are gonna start buying artificial trees because let me tell you, these Christmas trees are starting to rack up in price. Speaking of racking up in price, babies. That's right, babies. babies are very expensive. That's why I don't have any babies. And let me tell you, this would be me if I did have babies. I'd be a lazy father. Now, I'm not sure if it's a lazy father or a smart father using every tool available to entertain my kid. As you can see, this father doesn't want to be in the hot sun pushing his daughter on this swing. Instead, he has a string that's pulling his daughter while he's sitting back with his feet up drinking a beer. That wins the internet. 100%. You can't tell me that is not smart. It's smart, effective, and of course, gets the job done. He's an inventor. Now, this is just lazy. Imagine having a clock in your school or job or somewhere where you need a clock to see what time it is. And instead of changing the clock to reflect the proper time, you just put -1 hour on it. Yeah, that is the definition of lazy. Literally. Why not just change the clock's time? Instead, you went to the extreme effort of finding a piece of paper, getting a pen, finding tape, and then slapping the tape on the wall with the paper with a sign that says -1 hour. That is pretty freaking lazy. Now, I'm on the fence about this one, though. This one is titled Lazy Guy, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if this guy is really lazy or he just can't get to this section of the house because of complications. You never know his circumstances. He might be locked in his house. So he had to use a vacuum to get a shirt that fell out of his window. Now, to begin with, how the heck does a shirt fall out of your window? That, like, how does that, does that ever happen to you? Never happened to me. I've never had a shirt fall out my window unless I threw it out. And clearly, this guy is a mastermind when it comes to getting shirts out of the window, because apparently it might be a lot harder than it looks. Using a vacuum is possibly the more extreme version of being lazy. He could have just walked out and gotten it, but instead, he set up the whole vacuum to get the shirt. This must be something a little crazy going on in the background. Speaking of crazy, I would never walk my dog like this. Well, I don't currently have a dog to walk, but if I had a dog to walk, I would never walk a dog with an office chair going downhill with my dog pulling me and my legs straight out. That seems like a recipe for disaster, because that is exactly how you break your legs. Going max speed down a hill with your dog having the time of his life, pulling you down to your death. Don't do this at home. It may sound fun, but it literally is death. Speaking of good times, though, imagine having the ability to tape to the top of your ceiling your tablet just so you can watch TV or shows, because guess what? You don't have a TV in your room, so you set up a tablet that hangs from your, I guess, ceiling so you can watch all your favorite shows. I'm not sure if this is lazy or just smart, because this is cheaper than buying a TV. Just saying. Speaking of TV, this is the weirdest way to play video games. I don't think anyone out there has ever been like, you know what? I want to lay down and play video games, so I'm going to turn my TV so I can play them. That is next level. Like, wow. Maybe some of you guys have done it, but I don't think it's possible in 2020 with the TVs we currently have out there, because they're sort of like LEDs. You can't really turn an LED on its side like you could these box TVs. So might be a little hard for you to do this, but I'm saying it may be possible. Like, you may be able to rotate it if you have like one of those wall anchors. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are genius, like this guy right here. He's getting a suntan. As you guys can tell, I sort of got sunburned this weekend. I went on a boat all weekend. Check out my Instagram, my latest picture. As you guys can see, yeah, I look great in the sun, but it doesn't really work. I just get really red. Like this guy's probably gonna get red. Like his plate holding a Coke glass where he's drinking some delicious Coca-Cola on a hot sunny day. With a straw, of course. Honestly, pretty effective, pretty smart, pretty genius. I give this the stamp of approval. Speaking of stamps of approval, I want to be this guy right here, lazy popcorn eater. If you guys don't know, popcorn is my favorite snacks. Lately, I've been eating a lot of snacks. It's been a big problem in my life. Regardless of these snacks that I have been consuming, I have to say, this guy really takes home the bag. Not like the bag of popcorn, but the hoodie of popcorn. He filled his entire hoodie with popcorn so he can effectively eat popcorn by just putting his face down and then putting it back up. That is smart. Not only lazy, smart. Don't try this with cereal milk, though. It won't work. I'm speaking from experience. This just gives me a big facepalm. This hurts my brain. Imagine going to a gym that has an escalator. Why? Why would you implement an escalator at a gym? Now, this is what I'm assuming. This gym probably was like put in after they already put the escalators in. They didn't put the escalators and the gym at the same time. This cannot be a thing. Like, there's no way someone was like, this is a great idea. Let's put an escalator in the gym. You go to the gym to work out. Taking the escalator sort of defeats the purpose of you warming up. Just saying, all right? Speaking of escalators, as you guys can see, these are lazy people waiting in line for the escalator when there is literally no line for the stairs. And there's young people in this crowd. If you're young, just take the stairs. It's so much faster. You save so much time. And the escalator honestly isn't worth it with all these people breathing down your neck. Especially in 2020, you don't want nobody breathing down your neck. Yuck. Yeah. I'm not proud, but I've done this, all right? I have created the ultimate straw drinking machine. I've done this as well, and it looks like this guy has had a few drinks of his own. These are a lot of straws connected to his, looks like orange juice or some kind of alcoholic beverage, and he's living his best life. So, hey, you know what? I applaud this guy. Just doing him. And honestly, it's better this way because if he is drunk, a less chance of him spilling his drink because he can just drink it from the straw. It's genius. Of course, with the straw thing also comes the car and trash can thing. This is harder than it looks, and I've done it. Especially the way that he's doing it is a really bad way. You don't want to push it forward. You want to drag it. It's the way better way of doing it. Trust me, I've done it. I've had to take garbage cans very far before, and it's never fun. But the car does make it help it go faster, but you run the risk of damaging your vehicle, so I wouldn't try this at home. Speaking of trying something at home, imagine leaving your home, going to a mall, to then get on an escalator that only has about 5 steps. What is the point of putting an escalator in with only 5 steps? I don't understand. And you can't say this is for someone that's disabled because they would have a ramp. So I'm a little confused what the point of this escalator is. It literally makes no sense to me. You know what else makes no sense to me? People that don't replace the toilet paper. It angers me so much when you go to a friend's house or a friend comes over your house and they just do this. It makes no sense. It's as if their brain doesn't function and they don't know how to use a toilet paper roll. You have to take off the empty one to replace it with the new one. Don't you know how toilet paper works? Please work with me here. This is wrong. Don't do this. One thing I also couldn't imagine me doing is walking my dog with my car. Yeah, I don't get it. That makes no sense. Also, imagine mowing your lawn with a golf cart. These just make me scratch my head. I don't understand how we got here. I'll see you guys later. Click here to go watch the next one. Bye, dudes.